Eu estou falando pouco sobre energia.
I'm talking about energy. I will tell you a situation that happened in my life.
Particular que aconteceu na minha vida. Eu há tempo atrás.
Some time ago, I paid a visit to a family.
E essa família era uma família de 5 pessoas.
There were 5 people in this family.
Era casal e 3 filhos.
It was a couple and 3 children, and they had some difficulties in their relationship.
O relacionamento entre eles. E foi por isso que eu fui.
That's why I went there, to talk. They asked me to give an opinion, to calm the relationship, because there were many conflicts. When I got to the house, something very interesting happened. I'm telling this so that you can analyze your own situations. When I got there, they were all together. I was welcomed by the husband. He received me very well. I went there alone. When I entered the house, I will tell you the whole story. The husband welcomed me very well. Together with him, there was a procession of spirits. There were many spirits, and everyone was watching me. They were more curious than receptive, wondering why I was there. The impression I had at first was that they didn't understand the reason why the family wanted me to go there. So it was very interesting. Then I came into the house. I have always had a difficulty. Depending on the situation, or on the location, I see things more or less clearly. When I see very clearly, I can even confuse it's a physical person. It sometimes happens when I'm driving. I need to have internal conditions to deal with it, not to deviate from the spirit and hit the car. I can't do it. So, I walked into the house, and there was a huge amount of relatives, both from wife and husband. The spirits disagreed among themselves about some things. They hadn't said anything until I started talking to the family. I asked the family what was going on, and they started talking. When they started talking about what was going on, it was like this. They would wake up and start fighting. Lunchtime, it was World War II. I mean, all the moments they had together, like dinner or watching TV, were a mess. No one could handle it. Imagine what an awful situation in the house because you don't start something and end it when you want. You start the argument, the energy and the environment you are producing are hell. You have to deal with it. There's no other way. So they began talking to me, and the spirits started accusing one another. I was looking at that scenario and thought, what would I do? I mean, I have to find a way to help people, and this way needs to include both physical and spiritual people. I was in the middle of a crossfire. I couldn't say one was right, otherwise I would make the conflict worse. I had to find a way that was conciliating and clarifying. That was what I tried to do. First, I agreed with everyone, saying they were right to be fighting and in that difficulty. Each one of you has your own difficulties. Do you agree that, individually, there are difficulties? Then one answered, no, he did it. I said, this is not the question I'm asking. I'll ask again to everyone. Do you agree you all have difficulties? Everybody said so. I asked each one of them. At the same time I was doing that, I was addressing myself to the spirits in that place too. Because you can't reconcile the physical environment without reconciling the spiritual one too. It was very interesting because I started talking to them mentally, questioning if they agree they have difficulties too, because I was asking the people and wanted to hear from you too. All of the spirits agreed as well. What I wanted was having a total reconciliation, which is not very easy. It's not easy at all. As I talked, I started explaining. I wanted to reach the spiritual world to talk to everyone. Look how it was. At one point I wanted to say, everyone who's here knows there's the spiritual world, those people who have passed away. I wanted to tell the spirits that some people who passed away knew they had died, but some of them didn't even know. Now you can see how difficult it was to have reconciliation for all of them. First, because you only see the physical world. Are you going to try to reconcile people only physically? How about the other things? I'm always saying this, and it even became a joke. You marry someone and that's it. No. You've got a lot of people together. These people are going to make you happier or less happy. It depends on how primitive the spirits close to us are. So, I kept talking. The conversation was getting longer. I made some jokes to the point I could say, what happens to us when we die, when we have the death, and it happens here in your house too. You have relatives who passed away, haven't you? Of course we do, they said. Well, some of your dead relatives still don't know they are dead. They think they have to participate actively in the family here. Others were more aware. I mean, we all here in this room need to have this perception. Why? In order to have a peaceful and calm environment. Actually, none of us are right, because we don't have enough knowledge to judge the others. That's true. Will you keep judging people? Who are you? That moment was interesting. The spirits were looking at one another and I was in the middle, trying to get to the point I wanted. I was making those statements. I'm telling you this to show how difficult it is to be aware of the spiritual world. Do you know why we are not? Because we are very afraid. When I look at people, I see their spirits reflected in their aura most of the time. That is, a person sees the spirits, but denies so strongly they don't see. We can't see the reality because we are afraid of it. We have to overcome fear, which is a barrier that hinders our evolution, growth, and perception. There's something bigger than just the fear. We are used to having pleasure. If you could really see things, imagine how you would be. It gets hard. Your life won't be so easy. You will need to have a very high level of consciousness to manage both the physical and the spiritual body. You may ask me why. It's simple. For example, when you are prone to having a sexual physical contact with someone, do you think it happens the way you see it? Do you think you go to the bedroom with your partner and you both are alone? This is what we want, to have privacy. But nobody has it. You are in your bedroom and a lot of people are also there. They are often your relatives. Some don't enter because they're ashamed, but others do because they need that energy. There are also the spiritual consciousnesses that were friends from other lives, or spiritual friends who are always glued to you. Friends who are jealous of what you are doing, people who liked your partner and already died. They are there to disturb you and steal your orgasm. There is everything you can imagine for you not to lose pleasure. And we often end up in this situation of not having all the satisfaction because we can't generate the energies the way they should. Then you see nothing. You don't want it. You deny it. You deny your child uses drugs. You deny something wrong happened in your life. You deny everything. Why you deny more complicated things than seeing spirits? Seeing the world the way it is. How can you deal with it? Have you ever imagined living with someone who killed you in another life? For me, it's not relevant, because we all have already killed. You must have already died in many different ways. You can't have prejudice against homosexuals, women who are prostitutes, or beggars. You can't have prejudice against other ethnic groups. You need to know you may have already been all these people. You were once a man, a woman, a prostitute. You can't offend or belittle another ethnic group. You have already been one of them. So we have to be aware we are much more than we can see. We only see what suits us. We're afraid of everything we are, of what we have lived. We are afraid of seeing our past lives. Some people say this is even dangerous. Some people say astral projection is dangerous too. I say exactly the opposite. You have to see your past lives to know everything you've ever done, and take advantage of all that knowledge. It doesn't matter what you did, you have to use it for good things. You need to have lucid astral projections to grow, to be free from the limits of the physical body. Then your inner world gets richer and happier. This is true. So, that family, I kept talking to them, and the spirits began talking to one another too. They maybe had me as a reference at that moment. I don't think I'm a reference to anyone, but at that moment, they all agreed I was right. It was good I said some things because they couldn't see. They were fighting for very small things. Have you ever imagined a spirit fighting with another for a piece of bread they can't even eat? This is complicated. They don't even know they had died. Our perception needs to be improved. The result of it was that these people improved their lives. They even told me later, interesting, after you came, things have improved. My wife thinks it's because you have a good aura. It has nothing to do with it. It's about the spiritual world nobody could see, the conflicts the humans cause wanting to exercise their own ego. This is something we have to be better. I am Moises Essegui. At Center for Consciousness Studies you can find search, questioning, and knowledge about behavior and spirituality. We are working for it. You can find more information about our social networks in the description of this video. Come and see our work. You can join us, ask questions, and make the path we should all do in this life. Be better than we ever were. We have CDs, which are our study material, and books as well. Just check our website and our social networks to have more contact with our work. You can help us too. When you buy our materials, you are helping us to maintain the whole structure and make the path we believe. You can join us and contribute as well.
E fazer o caminho que a gente acredita e que você pode participar, né, e somar também.
Would you like to participate in a work of energy giving from afar that is benefiting thousands of people? Click on the link below for more information.